In modern culture, the terms Holy Spirit and being born again carry a heavy amount of baggage. They are almost exclusively tied to aggressive political movements, strict moralistic agendas, and people shouting through megaphones. But if we set aside the modern stereotypes and open the ancient texts, those flattened definitions completely fall apart. Instead, we run right into a strange paradox. In churches all over the world, people constantly pray the phrase, "Come, Holy Spirit." It is a request that implies the Spirit is currently absent, somewhere far away, and needs to travel to us. The ancient Hebrew word for spirit is ruach. It translates to wind or breath. The authors of these texts describe it as the fundamental, invisible energy animating all of creation. There is no physical place you can go where this breath isn't already present. It is the force driving the weather systems outside. It is the literal oxygen expanding your lungs right now. It exists in every single molecule and in every continuous second of time. So if the Spirit is quite literally the air already inside our lungs, asking it to arrive makes absolutely no literal sense. Asking for the Spirit's arrival serves as an alarm clock for our own awareness. We aren't requesting that God change locations. We are asking for our perception to catch up with reality. This brings us to a second riddle, centered around a biblical figure named Nicodemus. When we think of someone needing to be born again today, we usually picture a person who has hit rock bottom. But Nicodemus is a wealthy, highly educated member of the ruling elite. He is a respected Bible professor and a deeply moral man. By every metric of his society, his life is a total success. He approaches Jesus' secret to engage in some polite political networking. Jesus ignores the flattery entirely. That his entire life up to this point has been a false start. This linguistic map shows the Greek word anothen. It translates to again, a chronological restart, and from above, a new source of origin. Nicodemus assumes Jesus only means again, but Jesus demands a restart powered entirely by an external, divine source. Jesus frames the born-again experience as a systems-level replacement. It moves the center of gravity from individual religious effort to an outside source of power. Jesus explains the logic behind this by stating a simple rule. Flesh gives birth to flesh. Human effort driven by its inherent flaws, biases, and ego will only ever produce more human results. In this side-by-side comparison, if you have a cherry tree and want peaches instead, watering it more often won't help. Pruning its branches won't help. To get different fruit, you don't need better gardening techniques. You need an entirely new root system. Overcoming our inherent flaws requires more than willpower. It demands a biological transplant of the heart, powered by the Spirit. The ancient texts present Jesus as the fully realized blueprint for this. He is depicted as a human operating without the ego or self-preservation that drives the rest of us, animated entirely by this divine breath. We see this clearly when he stands on trial before Pontius Pilate. Pilate threatens him, reminding Jesus that he holds the power to execute him. Jesus remains completely detached, calmly informing the most powerful man in the room that he actually holds no true authority over his life. For those seeking to live with this kind of freedom today, the texts outline specific practical functions of the Spirit. The first is described as the Comforter. The Comforter exists to sustain us through the very real physical mortality, pain, and grief of life. It holds individuals steady when we inevitably face loss. The second function is called the Spirit of Truth. This acts as an active, empowering force for ordinary communities. It drives them to look at unjust systems, tell the truth about them, and challenge corrupt power structures. By relating to each other with justice, these communities model a localized version of heaven on earth. Right now, there is a version of you driven by anxiety, fear, and the need to protect your own status. But hidden beneath that is your true self, a version capable of operating with the quiet, unshakable confidence that Jesus modeled. Adopting this new Spirit-led identity replaces the fear that drives our ego. It turns ordinary humans into active agents of reconciliation, joining the work of bringing heaven and earth back together.